Now time for our social discussion. We're speaking about loneliness in marriage, and this is a continuation, yes, from our discussion last week. And we do have in studio with us, of course, our awesome experts and counselors. That is Raymond Dungu. Thank you so much for joining us, Raymond.
Welcome.
And Rachel Wawero. Raymond, did I just call you Dungu? And that is all your last name?
Yes, I'm
Right, yeah, it's Monday, but I need to apologize for it's fine enough for now.
That's fine.
It's fine, okay, then right. Thank you so much for staying with us, rather. And if you do have anything to contribute on this discussion, for example, if you're going through this, our SMS line is 20001. Tell us exactly what you think. Are you in a marriage and you're lonely? And, you know, what exactly is the situation? Our two counselors in studio will be very happy to assist you in getting the way forward. You can also call us. The numbers will be appearing at the bottom of your screen. So, lady and gentlemen, let's begin. We can continue rather from last week. We spoke about a lot, especially on how one can end up being lonely from a man's perspective, from a woman's perspective. I think what we do need to understand is how can we get out of that? How can we identify that we've reached a place where we take our partner for granted? So even if they're trying to be romantic or they're wearing something sexy or nice, you just don't see anything interesting. You know, you're looking at them like, oh, well, they look fine. But then someone out there is giving them praises that, you know, are making them dress up, but they're not dressing up for you. So how can we get that point and we realize that?
Yeah, you know, loneliness, just being the fact that you're married, doesn't mean that you have an emotional connectedness to your partner. And that's up to be with the issue of being excluded. So you feel or you perceive that you're excluded from your partner's life, and that is they don't involve you in a lot of issues that they are doing, and you feel left out. That part of the major cause is what we call stonewalling, that where you're talking to somebody and then you're like talking to an ice or a stone, and that goes, most men are stonewallers. And the reason they are stonewallers is that women are able to swim in an ocean of emotions, but men tend to be lost in the sea of emotions. That is, culturally, they were not raised or they were not socialized to be emotional. So when men are engaged in an emotional conflict, they tend to build a wall as a way of protecting themselves from too much talk. And that's when we teach the men to tell them that it's easier for them to stonewall where they think that they are protecting themselves. And then that also becomes an act of hostility to the lady, because the lady wants to engage in that conversation. But what they don't know is that the men feel flooded, that they don't have the energy to engage in that conversation, because men are rational. So they want to think from, not just to talk, feel good. Where ladies sometimes they talk just to feel good. They want to talk so that they feel that emotionally they have released what is in their heart. And mostly you realize it's the ladies who complain that they are lonely. Then the reason they complain they are lonely is because they want their men to talk. And that man will say, like, my wife is nagging. My wife is calling names. And that goes with ladies calling names. So when you engage a man in an intense emotional conversation and he's not ready to take up the task, he builds the wall. And then if he is there, he is thinking he's protecting. To a lady, this is hostility. So, and that's where when ladies feel that their act is that you are doing this to me because I did this, so they look for things to fill up too. And that's why we need to clear the issue of leaving things with a question mark. So we really need to develop a way of conversation with each other, not necessarily when there are issues. And that's now you bring the issue of how couples solve issues. And then you talk about conflict management, where you realize some couples tend to be volatile. They are very happy expressing their issues, and they don't even persuade each other. They engage in a conversation. So you may think they are divorcing the next minute. But what they do, that couple, because of that connection and that attention, when they engage in that conversation, they have a way to tone down that conflict instead of escalating it. Then there are couples who solve issues where, like, I allow you to talk and you allow me to talk. I validate what you're saying is right. Then can be a way of solving issues. Then there are others who, like, they avoid conflict at all. And then when the issues come, like, they don't want to talk it now. So those are the three levels to avoid being lonely, and if anyone can merge any of the two, then that we can have a breakthrough.
Okay.
Yep.
Rachel, what are your thoughts?
Okay, I like the way you've started by saying that I dress like this, he doesn't see or she doesn't see. I try doing things this way, and my partner doesn't notice. It happens. We've had these in therapy rooms. We get people who come and tell us, I've tried all I could, and he or she doesn't still notice. It happens. And the reason behind this is because there are underlying issues. You may dress very well for your partner. You may do the best thing that you feel that your partner is going to enjoy. But since there are underlying issues that you've not solved, he or she may not notice what you've done. So the best thing is you first solve what is underlying. Just sit and discuss what is it that is making us not have a connection. What is it that is making us not be emotionally attached? Because there must be something that has come or that happened maybe in the past that is making us now, our emotions are not, we are not well connected, and we're not moving well in the right way. And that's where now you feel that it's like my partner is no longer there for me. I'm just left alone. So the best thing is you just dissolve the issues that you feel that you've not handled, for you to at least have a good emotional connection. Another thing that I always tell people is, as you complain and say that my partner is not there for me, you should also assess yourself and look at maybe the goals, the expectations that you have. Because some people set unrealistic expectations for their partner. At times, they are not able to meet them, and then you find that that's now where the gap is created. So it is also important to assess yourself and ask yourself, what are my expectations? What do I expect from my partner? If my partner expects the same from me, will I be able to meet the demand of my partner for us to be on the same line? So as we set goals and as we complain that we feel single yet married, let us also assess ourselves. What are our expectations? Are we going too high where our partners are not able to reach, or are we too low where our partners are too high? So it's also very important that you assess your level with your partner. Another thing that is very important and that will help you to be able to be able to deal with the expectation that you put on your partner is knowing the type of friends who your partner leads you move on with, all the friends to your partner. You're able to know that if my partner has such type of friends, so this is what she finds fun for her or him, this is what she enjoys doing, this is her lifestyle. At least you're able to know this is the way now I should treat my partner. Because you find people complaining that since I feel lonely, I'll move and I'll spend more time with people who understand me, with people who feel that will accommodate me, or people who feel that they understand me. That is what most people say. Well, else, it is once you're able to spend time with your friend, with your partner and the friends, you'll be able to pick what are the likes of my partner, what type of company, what type of treatment would my partner want me to give to him or her. By that, you're able to know this is what my partner expects, and you'll be able at least to reach the level of your partner.
Okay. Now, Raymond, you've mentioned about men walking or being in the sea of emotion, and then women, basically, they thrive. They swim or thrive in it. Women, we know how to be happy right now and cry the next minute and go back to being happy, because we know how to juggle those particular emotions. Now, we've always had an argument about the weaker being and the stronger being. Women are referred to the weaker sex, but we would tend to argue about that because of the way they can handle their emotions. So what are we saying right now? Are we saying men are weaker, or are they stronger in the capacity in which they're able to handle their emotions?
Yeah, basically what I said is a general comment through observation and research that have been done. So that may not work for every man and for every couple. Okay. So it's good to know that we are gifted differently. Because as we're talking, the gentleman is able to rationalize issues, and this goes when a boy is being born, before they are born on the 26th week of a gestation period, there is an enzyme that separates the two lobes of the brain of a man, where the two lobes are separated, where a man cannot feel and think at the same time. So if he is feeling, he can't be able to multitask. So that goes even in the spiritual realm, that there are things a lady instinctively can be able to discern that they are not right, but they are not able to express. And that's where now when they are emotionally agitated and they are feeling something is wrong and need to be addressed, for a man, it has to go through facts. So as long as he's not able to be screened through his mind, and it goes, this is a fact. If he doesn't understand logically, even if you shout, emotionally he will not understand. And that's why even if a lady cries, the man does not understand. So you have to know that when I cry to express my emotions, I need to verbalize in facts where he can be able to understand. So we are just differently that there are also things ladies do, and you find here they didn't engage their mental faculties, that they didn't reason fully. So that point of where like you hear this, you don't reason, you just do things impulsively, that's where we have issues. So it doesn't mean that one is weaker. The only thing we understand is that the other one has a sixth sense. Then you realize the other one is gifted physically stronger, and that's why physiologically, like in an argument or in a conflict, you realize a man wants they release more adrenaline in their system, and it takes them 20 minutes or so to cool. So men, within a small criticism, can arouse them physiologically, and that they have higher pulse rate. They also have a lot of energy, and that's why most of them tend to fight. And we encourage them to be able to calm themselves down. And that's why ladies need to know that your man only need a small conversation to be provoked physiologically, so that he releases his energy all over. So his heart constrict, the blood is flowing all over, and he want to go for action. But whereas a lady want to engage in a conversation so that they feel good. So you realize that's the difference. So we can't say that each partner is equal. And even in the game of power, you realize the women are more influential, they are more relational. That's a relational power. Men are also positionally empowered. So you realize a man is saying, just like a small talk, you hear men say, what do you do? And they ask from the job level. And the women will be like, how many kids do you have? How are you related to so and so? So that's a difference of interaction. And even just observe small boys playing, you realize it's about the power. Boys, when they are throwing ball to each other, and one of the boys pick the ball, the others will come as like, the ball is with so and so. And so the one in power will take the ball and all the boys will follow. But for the ladies in their conversation, they only talk from suggestion. They don't talk from the position of power. They have like, I suggested this and this. That is, we are just different. So, and that's the uniqueness, because if we are all the same, we would crash on many issues.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Right, and just to tell our audience, you can be able to, of course, call us, rather viewers. You can call us to the numbers that are appearing at the bottom of your screen. If you have any question or any contribution you'd like to add on this discussion, you can definitely be part of it by tweeting us at K24TV, SMS, like I mentioned, 20001, and call lines are there, right there at the bottom of your screen. So, Rachel, I think what then we should look at right now is how do you get to a point where we understand each other? You'll find what Raymond mentioned a bit earlier, the whole aspect of couples not knowing each other's businesses. Maybe you're a lady and you don't know what your husband is doing. Someone comes and tells you, but they know your husband has been involved in A, B, C, D. Or one day you're a man, your wife, you're getting a call that your wife is involved in some shady business, and you had no idea, because you just both live in the same house. None of you know what each other, are up to, or you have different lives on different days. You just come, take breakfast or take supper, and you're out of there. So how do you go about that?
It happens that you're living with somebody and you don't know what he or she does. It has happened. We've solved such issues where a partner comes and a client comes and tells you that I don't know what my husband does. I don't know what my wife does for a living, but just find him at home, brings money and all that type of stuff. It happens. But what brings all of these problems is that there's no good communication. You don't talk. You don't have time for each other. You don't spend time together, because once you're not able to spend time together, you may not be able to learn what your partner does. You may not even be able to learn the likes and the dislikes of your partner. So one thing that we really encourage people, that it is always good to spend time together. Once you spend time together, you're able to pick the likes of your partner. You're even to pick what your partner does, or even what your partner goes through. Because at times it's not possible in most relationships because people have not created a good environment for the discussion. So it is important that you create a good environment for your partner, for you to be able to discuss about maybe what your partner has been doing the whole day or what your partner is going through. Because once you're able to discuss with your partner, what are you going through, what are your expectations, you'll be able to learn. My partner is going through this. My partner does this type of business, and from that you're able to tell. And it also becomes a problem once you're not able to tell about what your partner is going through. And that's now where loneliness comes in. Because your partner feels that it's like my partner doesn't understand what I'm going through. Because you may come at home, you just sit on the seat, and you think that my partner understands I'm going through a hard time. Well, else your partner even doesn't know. She has other expectations, or he has other expectations that he's expecting from you. And once those expectations are not met, you find that now that's where when people start developing anxiety, which now leads to stress. So it is very important that you're able to walk in the shoes of your partner. Just sit down with your partner, spend some time with your partner. You'll be able to learn more about your partner and still be there to discuss. Discuss with your partner what your partner is going through, the challenges that your partner is going through, and you'll be able to help. Another very important thing is I always tell people what brings about loneliness in most marriages is lack to adjust to changes. Because people, once you got married, you are the two of you. So you hand all the time together. You could spend time out. You could have a lot of fun together. But now changes have come in the family. Maybe you've gotten children. Maybe there's a change in the job. Maybe there's a change somewhere of the schedules. Responsibilities are becoming more than they were as you started dating. So it is also very important, each person, to embrace the aspect of change.
Okay, right.
Once change comes, it is always good for the two partners to embrace the change and be able to move on in the right way. Because it will be very hard for one person to adjust to change and the other person is still on that old life that you used to live, used to have fun and have all the time together. And now that there are changes, these other partner is not able to create more time for you as he used or she used to. So it is very important that the couple develops the standard of being able to adjust to changes.
Right. And another aspect I think we need to look at is when couples reach a point where they say they're lonely or they're bored of each other, I always hear this argument of, they need something different or they need someone different.
Someone different.
I think you've had, you've been smiling. Yeah. I think you, both of you have had that quite a lot where, each, either of the two, a man or a woman would say, I need to feel somewhat different in a different experience because this man is boring me or this woman is doing the same. But before you answer that, we have a phone call. Hello, good morning.
Morning to you.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, I want to talk to them in the studio.
We can hear you. You're on air right now. You're on air.
How are you?
I'm very much okay. How are you?
I'm fine.
Talk to us.
Yes, my name is Shiko from Nanyuki.
Yes, Shiko.
Yes, I want to ask our guest to at least give us their contact.
Yes.
So that in case of anything, we can talk to them.
Mm-hmm. No worries. Yes. The contacts of Raymond and Rachel will be scrolling at the bottom of your screens. You can be able to take their numbers once you see them. They'll be scrolling at the bottom of your screen. So definitely, Shiko. Well, there you go. I hope you're assisted.
Okay.
Right. Okay, then. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe what you have had people, we all have such a notion that the grass is greener outside the fence, so everybody want to go and taste that pasture outside. We keep talking about the green pasture, and that goes because of the experiences we have had before. Because initially we thought that when we get married to so and so, it will be the fun all through, it will be happiness forever, and probably that's God what He had in mind when He saw that Adam was really lonely, and it was not good for him, so he needed a partner. So when Adam and Eve got together, that was supposed to be throughout. But now, because of our foreign nature that in us, we have limitation in how we view things. We don't view as the intention was, that we don't even feel as it was intended by God. So somehow we have foreign short. So that means we need to tell each other, like when a couple comes to sit together, there will be that desire. So there is a wish in every one of us for a new experience and new adventure. So it is not wrong to feel that. So the feeling is varied. that I need a new experience. That's a wish for an adventure. And that way you hear your partner says, we need to travel, we need to move to this place. So that
But the argument is it's not with that partner.
No, but
the argument is always be like, I want to travel with somebody else,
that's
not
okay.
you.
That's okay. We are saying that the need is varied. The need for a new experience and an interaction, that's why we say that the same person is a social being. So the need to interact with another social being, it is also not a crime. So what we are saying is that within the context of marriage, is your partner your best friend? So if your partner is your best friend, you'll be concerned about their love maps. These are the psychological love buttons where most people don't care to ask each other, like just updating each other knowledge that you want to travel this place. How do you figure it out? So that conversation, she talked about the underlying issues that most people marry just for maybe you needed to be bailed from something, you married somebody because of cash, you married somebody because you are lonely, you married somebody because you need of your sexual needs. So all these things, we marry for different reasons. So it is good for a couple that when you think of you need a perfect stranger out, get your partner to be in those strange places so that you can experience that partnership. And that's where people...
And we have a phone call, Raymond, just a bit. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Yes, morning. Yeah, morning.
Good morning, Akin. You talk to us.
Yeah, nilikuwa nataka kuchangia hiyo mada ya married and yet lonely. So me, I have a problem. I got married to a certain husband who was not my side. Yeah, I just got married accidentally, so I don't know what to do because sometimes we can't get each other. You don't want to tell me the truth. But because we have been employed with a certain Italiano,
Okay.
each and every time that man sends the money, he doesn't want to tell me on which day does that man send the money. Even if I need some money for my own things, he doesn't want to give it to me. So what can I do for it?
Okay. Thank you very much for that. I don't know if you heard it clearly.
Yeah.
She got married to an Italian man.
Yeah, for me, it's just the basic of like if you listen to a conversation, especially for a man, like a man is trying to interpret, is it a complaint, or is it a real issue, or is she criticizing the person, and is it that her needs are not met? Because basically that's the normal conversation where like she feels outside, her needs not met, the person she's married to not being involved in her life. So what she's talking about, I'm left out. So she's asking, how do I engage this person that my needs are met? She talks about communication. And for her to be able to find an environment, which we call the ecology of marriage, there must be an environment for a marriage to thrive. So her calling the man, what is their talk? If they are talking in harsh tones, they will not be able to communicate with each other. And that's when this issue I was talking about, the position of having a sense of admiration and fondness of each other. You are able to empathize with the other person and even sympathize with her. Like when she's calling saying, this man doesn't do 1, 2, 3 for me. Either love, doesn't give me time to talk to me, doesn't provide for me. So what she's saying, I am outside the fondness and appreciation of this man, that this man doesn't appreciate me for who I am and doesn't see my contribution. Because the moment you recognize that your partner is part of you, you will care for them. And that's the issue of care and concern, which when we talk about, I am lonely, I am talking this is a clear position of being excluded.
Okay.
I think I want to support something on that. She has just said that she feels that she's left alone. There's one thing I would want to ask her. Maybe she can look at herself. What is it that makes her be left alone? You know, at times we really complain that this is not being done for me. My partner is not there for you. But what contribution have you done? What have you done for your partner not to be there for you? Because at times we complain. I don't want to judge her. But at times we complain and say that my partner is not there for me. But you yourself as a person, what have you done for the partner not to be there for you? Just as you've said, you said that people say that we want to look for greener pastures. We want to have a new experience. Yes, it happens. We've had it, and it's not a very layer comment. It's something that is very common in day-to-day life, that everybody, sitaki kula ugali kila siku, I can change and eat maybe mchele or something else. That one happens. But one thing that I always tell people that it is in the mindset. It is for you to decide that what I want, what I feel should be new, is new for me. I can create it out of my partner. If I feel, just as Lemon has said, just didn't say that you can even change the environment. Just support that. Changing the environment.
This is second Rachel. We have a phone call. Hello, good morning. Hello?
Morning.
Good morning. Talk
Morning.
to us. What's your name?
Morning.
Good morning. We
Morning.
can hear you.
Yeah, my name is Keter from Eldamaravin.
Mm-hmm.
Morning, my name is Keter from
We can
Eldamaravin.
hear you, Qatar. Go ahead, please. We can hear you. Hello?
Nataka
Okay. Okay.
So I was just saying that it is in the mindset. The way you set your mind, what you tell your mind is what comes over. So if you tell your mind that my partner is no longer attractive, that is what comes in. But if you tell yourself, you feed your mind that my partner is the best person that I've ever met, she'll be the best, or he'll be the best that I need of him or her, that is exactly what you get. So it is all about what you tell yourself. But once you tell yourself that my partner is no longer attractive, my partner is no longer performs the way he or she used to perform, it does registers in you, and now you start thinking, if I would get the other person, then she or he would be better than this one. Then that's now where the problems start, because you find you go to that person, think that you get the perfect, what you need in a perfect way. You find that even that person could be even worse than the one that you have left, and you find that now where you found that we've gotten issues and cases of people where people change partners day to day. And at times, once you talk to these people and ask them, why do you have to change your partner every month or maybe yearly? They tell you, I even don't know what happens, but I find myself that today I have a different partner, the other month I have another partner, the other month I have another partner. But you find that they have so much expectations that they don't find in that partner that they think they will give them. And so they opt for getting for another partner. I always tell people, work with your partner. Work with the partner that you have. Create what you want out of the partner that you have, and you'll be able to get it. And the way you register your mind, what you tell your mind is what you're going to get from your partner.
Okay. I mean, what you're saying, Rachel, is quite true. But you also look at some people who have problems with who they are, that the expectations of their partners is quite ridiculous. When it comes to the higher side, you'll find that because of their inefficiencies within themselves, they'd want someone who has all this, let me say, a tall order of expertise within themselves to handle them. Yeah. While others just simply are selfish. Whether you're good or whether you're bad, it doesn't matter. They still would have a problem with you, that they would never see themselves as a problem, but they would see you as a problem. Now, when it comes to personal, let me say, problems, how can couples handle that? Because sometimes the leading cause as to why someone can be lonely, you expect all these things, but you don't realize you're the one who really has all this, things, going wrong for you, but you keep on blaming your partner, but you have a problem.
There's no crime in acknowledging and recognizing that your partner is boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no crime. Again, it's also, there's no crime also acknowledging and talking to your partner that she's no longer attractive. Because basically what you are doing...
How do you get there?
Basically what you are doing...
Couples get to a point like, my God, Rachel ain't attractive anymore.
That's why we say they have that problem with Africans. And maybe this may be a big problem for our marriages. It may be a very big problem for our marriages. Yeah. Where we talk through third parties. If I have an issue with my wife, I have to call the best man. So the best man will make a better language so that we are not confronting the shame of being told who we are. But we need to be able to communicate with each other, openly and candid to each other, so that there is room for growth. There is no way marriage can thrive if there are no growth in it. And that's why we choose to grow in love. We don't fall in love. So if you tell your partner the way she cooked, it was not within your yearning, wronging, and your expectation, because you really need to look for a way to talk to each other without being negative, because you only need 5 good positive present experiences and 1 negative one. Then marriage will thrive. But if you have five negative experiences, then with 1 positive, then you are going nowhere. So it is good to acknowledge that as we have a problem and we need help. And that's why it goes like in a marriage have a life cycle. So you really need to know that when you started, psychologically you change. Both of you have changed. She talked about the changes. So if the only person who accepts change is a baby being changed the diapers, but the other people don't want the change.
Okay, just
So,
hold on a bit, Raymond. We have a phone call. Hello. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning,
Hello.
Margaret. Good morning.
Morning. How are you?
I'm very much okay. Yourself?
Okay, my name is Margaret. I'm calling from Kawangware.
Uh-huh.
I want to ask those panelists something.
Mm-hmm.
What happens if a partner, wherever mnakosana hataki kuongea,
Mm.
he's always claiming that akona grudges na wewe, yani hataki kuongea. Wherever tunataka kuongea, he becomes violent.
Violent physically?
Violent, yeah, and wherever, and whatever I'm doing, I'm trying to impress him in some way, but he's telling me I'm not like any other man.
Okay. Okay, Margaret, thank
Let
you.
me address that. I empathize with her, and I can imagine a situation where you want to talk to somebody and he's not there for you, or she doesn't want to talk to you. It happens. But one thing I would want to ask her, maybe her timing. How is her timing when she wants to talk to him? Because at times maybe her timing could also be a problem. Maybe you're talking to your partner when he's too tired, or he's exhausted, when he has other things that are in his mind, and that's now when you're telling him, sit down, we talk. You know, it can also bring a problem. I want to ask her that maybe she changes, maybe the time that she talks with him, and maybe, or even change the environment. Maybe she talks to him whether in the household, maybe in the workplace. She can try and change the environment and even change the approach. Maybe because even there's a way you can even tell somebody, sit down, I want to talk. You know, at times somebody will tell you, what are we talking about? So it is also important you look at the approach, one. The other thing is also do a good timing for your partner and even assess the moods of your partner. Because you can't just approach your partner when he's stressed and he's going through some hard time, and that's when you're telling this partner, sit down, I want us to talk. It becomes a little problem. Another thing I always stress, and Lemon always tells me, later I don't know what happened to your background, because always talking about background. But I know that the background is the key thing in families. Let her sit with this partner and maybe narrate and talk about how was I brought up. Because there's one thing that I know when it comes to development stages, the way one was brought up from 0 to 6 years really determines who the person is today. So if this guy was maybe fixated, she has just said that this guy becomes very abusive and violent, and she's like, I'm not sure, I'm sure of what she has said, that violent and maybe violence is beating. If that is my correct.
That's what she meant.
So you find that at times, if one was fixated during the anal stage, is it true, Raymond? You find that some people turn up to be very abusive, and they happen to fight a lot and to defend themselves. So it can also be a problem of the upbringing. So it is important that you assess your partner. How are you brought up? How are you treated as you grew up? Because some of the things that these people do today is as a result of how one was brought up. I'm not saying that she's supposed to live in that abusive marriage. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that she can assess what is it that makes this partner become abusive when they go to discuss something. Okay. Another thing could also be the way she puts the whole thing. You know, at times we handle issues when you are annoyed, when we are hurt. You know, you just give once and talk a lot of things. Definitely, there's some people who are not ready for confrontation. So
I do agree with you. Okay, we need to wind up. Maybe we can get your final comments, Raymond. I do agree with that. But you see, another factor with some women is sometimes you'll find many women taking up the blame for the men. Some others will already look at what they are doing. Am I doing something wrong? I mean, logically, you don't just always want to say my partner is and unless you're crazy. You always know that there's something that you would be doing to, contribute to that particular aspect. But then if you've looked and there is none, like you see her, she's going over herself to please him, to make sure he's okay. But it's like, I'm not that kind of man. By the utafanya hizi vitu alafu ufikiria ukiniambia eti niko sawa nitaendelea kuwa sawa. So then how can she look at you that also according too much blame to herself, and also for him to be logical enough to see it's a two thing here.
But the guy is talking. You know, we assume that silence is not talking. He's talking. What he's saying, I'm not engaging you. So why am I not engaging you? My way of engaging you is different from the way you are engaging me. So at time, he'll do the repair makeup. he will turn toward. And if he turns towards you for either from food, maybe he knows love from give me food. So when you're serving food and he has just eaten, he start now conversation where I keep ladies don't know how to talk to men. Because you come newscaster, that you were so and so said hi, small talk, nipatie chakura, then heart to heart. So when you start with heart to heart and the guy has not even settled or calmed himself, the way I was saying with the physiological challenges, so I said you don't have to see yourself like there is something wrong with you because you are lady, you are supposed to express, you are supposed to talk. And ladies don't want this issue of keeping things without being resolved. But I also encourage ladies to know that men also process inwardly, and they may take some time. So by that, create an environment, both of you, so you don't have to take the blame. You know the way we keep saying, ladies, because my man is going out, so there is something wrong with me. Why don't you acknowledge it's just selfish? He wants to explore with other women out there, and this one need to be discussed. So how do we discuss such issues? So we talk about conflict in marriage doesn't mean that you're divorcing. Shame and crisis in a family is not a big thing. The issue is, how do you respond to those issues that are affecting your marriage, and are you able to find a stability in this sea of your marriage?
Okay. Yes. Right. So Raymond, Rachel, thank you so much for coming in today and giving us advice on how we should deal with loneliness in marriage. And for our viewers, I hope you took down the numbers of our counselors today. They have been scrolling at the bottom of your screens. Thank you so much for watching Social Hour.